Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Yep. 205-964-5243. You know.
Good afternoon for July 20th. It is Kelly Wednesdays, and we're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate where your cash or credit does not matter. Let's see, what else we figure out. We're going to talk about real estate investing. Can you hear him? Can you hear somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If they can hear her, why do you think they can't hear him?
Okay. Willie.
He got the headset on.
Anyway, so we're here to talk about real estate investing, low risk, high reward opportunity. Kelly joins us on Wednesdays to assist in her knowledge in the on the real estate broker side of the game. How's it going, Kelly?
I'm going great. You just told him enthusiasm. He's giving it to you.
I didn't think they could hear it. You know what I'm saying? So okay, we can't do that. Text the word Text the word Gator to this number, 205-964-5243. If you want to join us live, you can have your own personal seminar going on here. So text the word Gator to the number. While we're allowing for people to load up the superpower, this is what gives you the paperwork needed to make all of this work. Text the word contract. Get free access to it on an unlimited basis. Also, you'll get step-by-step instructions on how to fill out the one-page contract I've been using since 2003, been giving it away since 2008. Also for sellers and buyers, and also how to get it signed virtually.
Try to move it up on Instagram.
What? The mic?
Mm-hmm. It says low, really low.
Okay. What color? You sure this? Which one is Instagram?
It's Instagram.
Okay. Instagram, we don't have a problem. Maybe we need to change the mic. We got
It might be that.
2 more sets here, so we'll change that. Instagram, can you all hear me like this? Please let me know. Do I have to do this? Just let me know. But anyway, so what else we got? Step-by-step instructions, texting the letters, VIP to the number. Someone suggested we set up that. His name Greg, I think. He normally joined us on Wednesdays, and it was a great suggestion. Love it. These are the times that we normally go on, ish. Use that word lightly. Around 3:45-ish Eastern. Check local listings. And around 8:05, I keep saying we're going to change this. We hadn't made it up to the thing to get it done. 8:05 Eastern-ish on Thursdays. Need your LLC set up, business credit, over 250 tax deductions. Set your LLC up. Text BIZ. You only have to pay for what it costs to register with the state, county, and city. You're going to have a set of attorneys that are going to actually do this for you. Doesn't get any better than that. So set up your consultation to get going. MLS, want to get going in the business for only $100, text the letters MLS, and you will thank me later on this one. Plus, we'll work with you on it. So, all right. What else we got? We got any questions yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
Everyone's saying hello.
How does the camera? How does Kelly look? I know she looks wonderful. I'm talking about me. I'm always in question. How does the what I'm trying to say? The quality of the video look on my end?
Yeah, me too. Why are we not sending out the text?
Huh?
Why are we not sending out the text?
They charge it now. I used to send unlimited text. Now they charge it.
It makes a
And
difference.
I have which I'm still sending out one. I just forgot, but I'll send out to the smaller list people that have shown they're very interested in what we have to say. I just can't send out to the entire 13,000 or whatever that's on the list right now. So
okay,
we're gonna send out to about 700-800. So
okay.
we love y'all too.
I just asked it makes a difference in the number of viewers.
Yeah, I'm
tremendously.
We're already up to 70 though. Cool. They come across Kelly here, so you know.
Usually, you know what I'm saying? It'd be higher than that. Okay.
Yeah.
Krishna Torrance from YouTube. She said, "Hi Ty, I put in an offer on a property on the MLS. The ARV is 115K. The offer price is 44K. It has a tenant, 275, but the rent can go up to 550. They paying $275 for rent. Is that what they mean?
What they said?
Is that what they mean? Okay. They need earnest money deposit and proof of funds, and I have neither.
That
Can we
exists.
JV on this? Who's paying $275 for rent?
That exists.
Like in the
I need to see
rural
photos.
areas, that might be cheap. Like in Selma. I'm not Selma.
You got it, Kelly. Go roll with it.
Okay, so you put in an offer, and let me just do a number that looks to be about right. But the thing about right now, guys, that I want you all to remember, like technically we are in a recession. I think we said that last time, like by definition. And so you probably still have not seen a lot of sellers that come around to that point because their neighbors sold their house for 3 times of what they're trying to sell their house for. Well, maybe not 3 times, but more money, right? So you want to make sure that when you're putting your offers, that you're not leaving anything on the table because buyers have locked up. They're not buying, unless it's a smoking hot deal. So 115K, I don't know what the repair costs are, but since it already has a tenant in there, I'm assuming that it's livable. But just looking at some pictures, I know sometimes that's suggestive as far as livable. So the tenant is at 275, but the rent can go up to 550. They need EMD and proof of funds. I have neither. Can we JV on this? Possibly. It depends on where it is. It depends on the repair costs, if there's any, and the condition of the property to make sure it is a good deal. But I will say a lot of this sounds like it's in a D-class neighborhood for 275 because they're significantly lower than the national average in rent. I would even see if there's a way to get this on Section 8. Maybe you have to do some improvements, but you could probably get a Section 8 tenant in there, get a little bit more rent, and those tenants less. But the deal is possibly if you sell it, if you never signed it, just held up to send it over to, if you send it cheaper, we can evaluate it.
But I got to do it a special way to send out to just not the total list.
Okay.
That's all I have. I know you didn't hear the last part, Ty. So.
I'm here.
He said depends. They're asking. Look, they're asking if you could JV, and I just kind of answered it for you. I said depends on where it is and what the repair costs are, to see if it'll be a good deal or not. But the repair costs and the pictures are going to help tremendously. But again, there's not a lot of buyers that are interested in D-class properties. There are some that only buy D-class, but there's not a lot. But I would say that this sounds like it's in a D-class neighborhood because it's $275 per month in rent, which is cheap. Honestly, I think the national average is like $700, $750.
All right. This one came from Brooklyn Brown. Let's see. They said, "Hey, I've been buying leads on Deal Machine and PropStream. I skip trace them too and spend 200 to 400 a day on skip trace. Then I send mass text but get no leads. Do you have any tips?"
Wow. No leads. Okay. Let me dissect this a little bit. You're buying leads on Deal Machine. So that means that these are leads that people have driven and saw that they are vacant, or need some type of attention. And then on PropStream, I know that Ty's went through several times about how to get them on PropStream. And then you take those leads and you skip trace them, and you spend 200 to 400. So you got a lot of leads if you're spending $200 to $400 a day to skip trace, and you send mass text and get one. Gosh, that's interesting. If you're not getting any leads, I would say check what your scripts are for your leads. I will also make sure you change up the numbers that you're sending it from. I would actually suggest you send them from a text messaging service, because they do all that in the back end. Versus if you have a number that you have, that you're using for marketing, it could come up as spam and it can go into junk, and people may not be checking the text that you're sending. So I would check the number, and then it may have already been pinged as spam. And I would try to get with what is it, batch IO or batch something that does text messaging. They will look at all that for you to make sure that you're not violating any text messaging laws. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, I would like to know what list are you building? Number one, who are you targeting? That's the first thing. Now, and you're supposed to be able to track, like, well, I would like to also know, are you getting any responses or any communications are actually happening? Okay, so it's sort of hard to troubleshoot it without knowing a couple of things like that. So he's only doing text messaging, from our understanding.
That's what he said right there.
Yeah. So yeah, I would
So
like.
they said
Go ahead.
today they had 3,195 leads.
Oh, well, that's
And
different
then-
than no leads.
Right. And then they also said Deal Machine cost me $119 a month. PropStream is $99 a month.
Well, I don't understand what is he.
Because the question said that they didn't have any leads, and now I think it's a she says that they getting 3,100. So that's leads.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little confusing on.
Maybe they're not getting any feedback.
Are you getting any feedback, or you're not getting? Or you're not getting any deals? All of that's, that's. What is this? All of that'll factor into being able to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a little more information.
All right. That first property we were talking about with the rent, I didn't read the second part. I didn't see it, but they said that the property was listed at 65, and then they dropped it down to 46,500 and accepted an offer of 44. So I don't know if you want to put this first, what they said on there, for more context, but they were just trying to let you know more about it.
Okay.
Let's see. This one says, "What's up, brother? Are you going to make a commercial contract available so I can partner with you on these commercial properties I find all the time?"
Well, the thing about a commercial deal, because they're different types of commercial property. I would just hate to I don't really just want to put out a quote unquote cookie cutter contract with it, because it just doesn't work that way. It can on some, just small building, They want 150,000, 200,000. You know, just some generic you can download from the internet will probably work. But the more complex it gets, I just don't want to put that out there. You know, just it's just hard to answer. You really, I hate for you to have to spend money on an attorney each time you're trying to do a contract on a commercial property because you don't have to go that far. But I don't want to put out just a generic contract out there and say go with it or whatever. Because whereas in residential, you rarely get sued. Some of these commercial people come at you if you don't perform, right? I'm saying they'll win, but you got to spend the money on an attorney or whatever. So that's the main reason I really don't want to put one out there, you know, because it's just not just a simple cut and dry contract. We're buying as is, closing 2 to 4 weeks, blah, blah, blah. That's simple in residential, but commercial, it could just get too complicated depending on the property and what's going on with it or whatever. So that's why. If you got a deal, you don't have to put in a contract. I ain't gonna steal your deal. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it for my little reputation or whatever. I love to partner with it. We'll make it work. Just send it over. Now, only thing about just sending over commercial stuff, I would say, Kelly, and I don't have any facts on this, but just what little I know about real estate, I would say it's more commercial real estate out there you can't do nothing with. And I hate to say that you can't do anything with, but you know what I mean? It's harder to come up with an exit strategy than it is with houses. Because with houses, the worst house, if somebody will take it.
We saw that the other day.
Huh?
We saw that by looking them other ones up the other day.
Oh, yeah. The worst house, somebody will take it. Where we're commercial, somebody will take it. But I'm talking about when I say the worst house, they'll take it and try to get it going to live in. Whereas with commercial, it's just not the same because people are generally trying to run a business. So it's like another layer there. Or I'll put it like this, or they're going to lease it to a business. Either one of the two is they're either going to try to run the business themselves and or try to lease it to a business. So you got to have the vision to know what business is going to possibly go there. And that's some total speculation. All neighborhoods are not built equally because we know different parts of any city in this country where, you know, you'll just see vacant commercial property after vacant commercial, and they've been there since you was a child and you're 42 now. You know what I'm saying? It's just different or whatever. And so people, I seen this commercial building. I only talk to them. Yeah, they want to sell it because nobody else want to buy it. And then a lot of times, you know, I just hate to just be just a blanket statement. But my point is, it's just I don't say I won't ever do it, but it's just gonna be hard just to put out a blanket commercial contract because it's just more complex for a number of reasons than houses. Your thoughts, Kelly?
Yeah, so just specifically for that contract, a lot of the things that I'll do, especially for commercial stuff, is I submit a letter of interest. It's called an LOI. It doesn't bind you. It doesn't do anything, but it might has a standstill clause in it, which basically says that for a certain amount of days they stand still. And it just gives you the opportunity to you know, market the property and see if there's anybody that's potentially interested in it, especially if you came to a verbal agreement as far as a price. It gives you the opportunity to shop around that price in that property. And if they sell it, then they will basically stand still. Now, it doesn't lock you up. It says on there that it's not legally binding. However, it's just something that kind of gives both of you guys a verbal agreement or oral agreement that it is that you are both looking to perform on a particular deal. But again, LOIs, they're just letters of intent, right? They're not anything that is of legal
Binding.
Yeah, it's not legally binding. But at least gives someone the talk track of saying that I have an interested buyer, right? Now that's what I would suggest on that. But if the commercial property is, if you don't have a buyer, so the thing about commercial is you can approach it. I found the best way to approach it is either two different ways. It's either one, you're getting commercial property that a lot of people want, such as you able to lock up a large apartment complex, this residential, like, over several units, or storage unit. People are always looking to lock up those type of commercial. Now, if you have like a storefront or like a shopping center or something like that, where we have a lot of brick and mortars that are going virtual and going remote now, I would say partner up with a specific company or companies to see what they're looking for, because there are still some companies that are expanding. I would lock up with those type of people to see what type of commercial deals are they looking for, and only look for deals that satisfy their particular buy box. Other than that, I would say if your commercial deal is not something that a lot of people will want, then I would definitely do a little bit more research before you start getting anything under contract. What's this about me? They kind of had a.
No, I'm looking at Jessica. She must have read something
I was reading a comment.
disturbing.
Oh, was it about me, my hair again? What is it about?
Oh, people been saying stuff about that? What's wrong
Oh
with it?
no, you remember
I
that?
don't know about this. I change styles all the time, so I just figured that maybe.
What woman doesn't?
I know, right? It's hard for me to go 2 weeks with the same style. I'm like, what are we gonna do next?
I believe I could, if I like a house style on a woman, she don't ever have to change it.
You crazy as hell. Women like to change their hair. It ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
If you ever,
it don't.
it should.
I mean, people,
but
you do your hair if you like it, but like at the end of the day,
see,
you want to do something
I'm
with your
good.
hair.
Now, all ponytails ain't built equally. Because everybody head ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? But I'm simple like that. You know what I'm saying?
So it's ponytails.
It ain't got to be that. I'm just saying. Yeah.
She gonna want to change it.
Yeah. I'm just saying it ain't got to be.
Lord have mercy.
Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Miss Jessica, like these outbursts.
All right, this is on TikTok. Can you wholesale a house that's already in foreclosure?
That mean pre-foreclosure, right? I'm assuming.
Depends on where it is.
I guess I mean pre-foreclosure, but go ahead.
Oh.
If they mean pre-foreclosure, maybe. It depends on when the auction date is. Again, even though we are technically in a recession,
are we actually in it?
We are, by definition.
Okay.
We've had two months where the market has had taken a negative, and technically by that definition, it's technically a recession. So here's the deal with pre-foreclosures. You have to act fast. And so if they have an auction date coming up soon, and if you don't have reserves, because I'm sure they're in arrears, that you can bring up to stop the foreclosure, or if you are really great at foreclosure law and you can submit a petition to prolong the foreclosure, that is the only way that you can do, because you need to buy time. Most people in foreclosure, they've waited to the very last minute, and they have to buy time, and usually that's not a lot of time involved when they have decided they want to sell their house. So maybe is the question. It depends on where they are in the foreclosure. If they have 2 to 3 weeks before the auction, I would say you would absolutely positively need to have reserves on standby to pay arrears, or have someone that you absolutely know that's where their buy box is and their buying market is, and have them on standby to come in and pay the reserves as well. But if it's after foreclosure, the only way that you really can buy it is is pay cash at the courthouse steps or on auction.com and a lot of other auctioning websites that are out there.
All right. This one came from Yvette Robin. She said, Ty, what state are you located in?
Alabama, Birmingham specifically. Kelly's in Huntsville.
Home of the World Games 2022.
Terrible closing. I was at the closing.
Stop it.
Lionel Richie needs to be ashamed of himself.
Stop it.
No, don't do that to him.
Stop performing.
No, don't say that.
Came up
He didn't say that. He said Larry Richard.
at 11 o'clock. Came up, and I wasn't there. I shouldn't have been there anyway. Came up at 11 o'clock.
PM?
At 11:14. Good night, everybody. I'm not lying.
That sounds like a budget issue. That sounds like they bought 15 minutes of his
That
time.
sounds like a hustle. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, they were saying that he was 45 minutes late.
To the place?
I think so.
It didn't start day. What was he doing all day?
I have no idea.
See what y'all do. See, I'm not a good judge of stuff like that because I'm a country boy. Grew up in a town less than 1,000 people. I'm not that cultured, and I know it.
Whatever.
That's the right word?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not that cultured, right? So I was just doing something that I normally don't do, which is go places and experience a few things, and it was terrible. From Ruben Studdard to Bo Bice to Taylor Hicks to the Asian dancers to the speeches by the mayor of Birmingham to the Olympic, not the Olympic, the World Games president,
Stop it.
to the man from Portugal. I don't remember what his role was. The only thing was good. They did let the HBCU bands come up and do some drumline stuff. They sort of watered it down, though.
They did.
It was watered down, but it was better than what the rest of the stuff that was going on or whatever. But the closing ceremony for the World Games 2022 in Birmingham, Alabama were terrible. Now, I heard that the opening ceremony had a different deal going on. They had Bootsy Collins. I can get down with that. They had Tony. Not really a fan, but I can get down with that. And they say Nelly closed. I heard he only did about 3 songs too. That's what I heard. That ain't verified. Somebody that went may verify that. But the closing ceremony, the best thing was the food truck.
What food truck you had off of?
That was the best thing, but it wasn't that good either. But, it wasn't very good, man.
There's gonna be a for-sale sale in your yard. Birmingham don't want you no more.
I love the ham, man. You know what I'm saying?
It was lackluster.
It was terrible, man.
I would have liked to have seen Lionel Richie come out with like Tuskegee band since he's from.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. That was funny. I was laughing. Those people was hot. I was laughing. I already knew. I'm not a fan anyway. I knew the songs he was singing because they were so popular at the time or whatever. I swore the man was 80, 73. I was wrong on that, but he has no stage presence. 0.
Well, he's 73.
Some people at 73 got some stage presence.
I
bet Boosie clown.
Yeah.
And Boosie probably older than him.
Yeah. I felt bad about the blind boys of Alabama.
They did all right.
Because they couldn't see and they couldn't hear either.
They
was off key.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I wasn't paying that much attention. But
sometimes I know we got somebody else we can bring out.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Is there anybody else?
Anyway, I digress. Who brought that up? Who brought that world
You
game
brought
up?
that up. Oh, she said home of the world game.
Oh, she did. Why you do me like that?
That's so cloudy. You said,
Why you do me like that? You didn't know I went to the closing ceremony. It was terrible.
to my defense, I know you don't go in. So telling me that you went somewhere, I was like, oh, okay. You wish you were at the casino.
What?
It's not good.
Oh.
All right, moving on. This one says, Ty, do you have any videos on wholesaling condos, not the building, just the unit? I have an investor friend who works with buy and holds, and he asked me to find him a condo.
Kelly.
I mean, there's really no specific video that's different than selling houses. The only thing you would need to know is what are the HO fees or co-op fees for it, because that normally, I'm surprised that he wants the condo. Maybe he's trying to do Airbnb and he's worked the numbers out, but add that into if you're factoring in, like, because that's what they're going to factor in as far as cost per month and per year, because that kills cash flow for a lot of just traditional buy and hold investors. But if he's doing it for like a corporate rental, furnished rental, Airbnb, or some type of specific use that will create more revenue on the back end, maybe that's why he's wanting condos, just one unit. But it is no different than any other property. You get the ARV, any repair costs, what the average rent is in the area, but you also add in co-op and HOA fees.
Okay. All right. Let's see. This one says, hey, Flipman and Queens, do we submit privy deals through Dealator? The reason why I'm asking is the questions to submit deals through Dealator contradict anything about privy deals.
No, just an
The
email.
math ain't mathing.
Just text me. I'll get an email to you. But you're right. I didn't even think about it, but you're right. That's funny. It contradicts.
Right.
That's funny.
Let's see. Let me go down. All right, this one came from Jay on YouTube. They said, what's a tried and true method would you say consistently finds motivated sellers? That's his first question. And the second is, are these typical motivated sellers ignorant to their equity when you're wholesaling their house?
That second question is, the first one good too, but that second one is really good. Go, Kelly. You got the floor. I'm paying attention.
And I know I've said this probably months ago, though, when we were on tried and true method that consistently finds deals for motivated sellers, always going to be your out of state landlords, and especially vacant out of state landlords are always going to be. And I say landlords, I should say absentee out of state vacant owners, because that gets in the bucket of probates, because a lot of families that don't live in certain areas anymore, and they say their parents have passed away and they don't have any desire to keep the house going or be a landlord or anything like that, they're going to be motivated because they're going to want to sell. That's the only thing they're going to do is sell. And it depends on the person whether they'll take the time to fix the house up or they'll sell as is. But yes, your absentee vacant house owners will always be someone where you can consistently find deals, and that is across any state. And that's a good way to get in virtual wholesaling because they're out of state as well. So just as long as you have people on the ground that can go and unlock doors and view houses and take photos, both of you guys are out of state, so it really doesn't matter about where you are located. Now, are these typical homeowners or typical motivated sellers ignorant to their equity? Depends on who they are. I would say that if they're motivated, though, so motivated seller by definition means they're motivated to sell property. They are not interested in what you would make or even what they will make, they are interested in offloading property. They are more interested in how much it costs them to keep the property. That's what a true motivated seller is. So I wouldn't say they're ignorant to their equity. They just don't care. That's not their solution is money. Their solution is they have a problem, and that's the house, and it's bleeding money, and it's costing them money, and they don't have the money to keep it up. They need to get rid of the house.
Okay. Number one, tried and true method would you say consistently finds motivated sellers. Wow, there's different methods. See, if money, I guess I'm gonna take it from the standpoint of no money. So probably the least expensive way to do it is cold calling, right? But it ain't for everybody. So it's sort of hard to answer, because it depends on your resources, who are you as a person, and the time you have to put into it. So it's really hard. We'll go with Kelly's answer on that. It's just hard to answer for me because I would need to know more about your situation or whatever. So as far as the are these typically what you will find that more people, well, it's so easy just to Google your address and pull up what Zillow shows, which is not always accurate because of the condition of the property. Zillow is giving that value based on it being in excellent condition in most cases, and that's not the situation in a lot of cases. So they're doing a market sweep or whatever for that, within a certain range of your property. Other factors go into it, but for the most part. So them being aware or not aware of the equity, I'm going to be totally agree with Kelly. Normally it's just their motivation. And one of the main reasons they probably deal with us versus just dealing with a real estate agent is expectation of speed. And a lot of people deem dealing with an agent, obviously a lot don't, but a lot of people deem dealing with an agent is a hassle, right? Because now they have to provide access and all this stuff, especially if they still live in it. Still a lot of people just don't want to go through that. So it's going to be different reasons, but them being ignorant to answer the question, ignorant to their equity, I'm going to say that's normally not the case. Matter of fact, I think most people think their property is worth more than what it is. Mm-hmm. Even the ones we do get deals on, they still probably know it's worth more, and they could have got more if they would have had the patience. But their situation and their motivation that's not important to them. So yeah, do you pay this? Oh, that's what I need to sign. That's their thing or whatever. So being ignorant of it, I'm gonna say most people are not ignorant of the equity.
All right, this came in from Instagram. How do you know that a property is still in pre-foreclosure process and not at auction on PropStream?
How do they know that the property is in pre-foreclosure and not in process on what? Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. How do you know that a property is still in pre-foreclosure process and not at auction on PropStream?
PropStream wouldn't be a good place to find auction information. Well, I say that because I'm not completely sure how often they update their data. I don't know if it's 21 or 30 days. That would be too late for auction. You can, if you have the address though, you can go into like an auction.com or foreclosure.com, or you can go to publicnotice.com and look up the public records, because by law they have to announce that the property is going to go into foreclosure, and they have to announce the auction date. So it'll be in the public notice, whether it's the local newspaper there, but it's a public notice.com that you can look up everybody's newspaper announcements. But I would say if you have the address, even Zillow would tell you whether it's on auction. So you can go to Zillow, auction.com, foreclosure.com. They will all tell you what the auction date is. And if it's within 2-3 weeks, I would say, unless you have the reserves to work it out, or the person has the reserves to work it out or something, like I wouldn't really, it's just sometimes this is not enough time to do that, because I will tell you this, like banks are not giving any relief to anyone right now. If you can't meet their terms and conditions, then it is going to go to foreclosure. And that's kind of that. They're not, this recession is not the same as the recession of 2008, 2000, because the factors are different. It's just inflation. But the housing market really doesn't have, it's not a housing market issue. People can still afford, for the most part, to pay their bills. They just can't buy a lot right now because of the interest rates.
Yeah, it ain't in their best interest compared to months ago. What was I about to say? Something along the line of what we were just talking about.
Foreclosure and auction dates is what we're talking about.
And what were they trying to do? Prevent it?
No, they was trying to see how to see it on PropStream, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. It's county specific on that and how they make that information available. That's the only thing. PropStream and any of those services that have that much data, it's all how the county makes it available to the public or whatever, and that's the only thing they're going to post or whatever. So I'm trying to think, because I normally don't look at that, but normally it's just going to be one of the options there when you look at a property. It'll show it has an auction date or whatever. And some of, I know in Jefferson County, the last time I remember looking at it, it actually even have the attorney's information on who's the attorney that's representing the lender or whatever. So, I know what I was gonna say. Pick it back off what Kelly said. Yeah, see, this so-called recession or whatever, the housing market itself caused it or whatever, with the all those ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages, and those what kind of mortgages they call those? There's
You talking about the 2009 recession?
yeah.
The subprime loans.
Yeah, subprime. That's the term I'm using. Yeah, trying to come up. It engulfed itself, which obviously real estate is such a huge part of our overall economy. It affected a lot of other things also, or whatever. So, but in this situation, like Kelly said, a lot of these banks have not been getting paid, because of COVID or whatever. And so, oh no, some of y'all didn't pay us just because you didn't have to pay us, right? And they ain't hearing it or whatever, and they feel like they can gobble that real estate back up and sell it or whatever, because they made better. They approved better loans over the last 10 to 13 years. You know what I'm saying? So they okay, that's fine. We ain't upside down this time. That's the attitude they have. Because they made better loan choices. Now this is just me talking now. Just one little I know about it than they did before. If you want to see a good movie to show how why the market crashed in 08, 09.
Movie.
Yeah, dog it. I'm telling the movie. I can't tell you the name of it.
The Big Short.
Huh?
The Big Short.
Yeah, The Big Short.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. Hey, just a real snippet in the movie. When these guys, they were trying to bet, they knew it. They heard this other guy was on top of it. He was about to make a lot of money betting against the market, which you can do. That is going to fail or whatever, the opposite direction, what everybody else is going. And they went and investigated it themselves. And they went to the strip club and they started talking to this stripper. And they were really trying to get directions, I think, in the movie or something. And somehow it came up that she owned her own house. And she was like, I don't like. It was like 3 or 4 of them, or some ridiculous number like that. Hey, when she told them that, oh, they were from New York. They were down in like Miami somewhere. They got on the phone immediately, buy up as much of the short as much as possible. I think is the way it's phrased or whatever, because this thing is about to crash and crash hard. You know, they based it off what the stripper told them. Yeah. But that's a good movie, The Big Short.
Someone said they just watched it.
Yeah, great movie.
I know we were talking about auctions, and this person had asked, hold on, Dayanica, she said, I just came in, going to the auction, is it good or no? Because I have went to one and they start out really low, surrounding area, Waco, Texas.
Yeah, it's good to go with one. If you have the cash now with the auctions, here's the 2 things. Well, this is how every auction may be a little different in every state, so I don't want to speak blanket wise, but typically on auctions is you have to have cash either there on site, or a portion or 10% cash or cashier's check on site. And then you have to have the full amount within 24 hours afterwards. And that's how it is, at least here. So you basically have to have, when you go to auction, you have to have cash up front. So that's as long. So I mean, yeah, you can always get some good deals. Don't get emotional in it. When it's auction, a lot of people get tend to get emotional and go against their own numbers that they have evaluated. So I would say never stray away from your numbers. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, auctions could be good if you can definitely find some right deals, and if you have the cash, go for it.
Well, yeah, I'm just reading the question. I'm assuming what's your end game? Are you talking about going there to buy yourself? Or are you talking about going there to look for opportunities to wholesale? Because if you're going there to buy yourself, then what Kelly said, but you're talking about going there to try to find deals to wholesale, it doesn't work that way. Now, it would possibly be a good opportunity to network with cash buyers at an auction, because you have to have cash. Or whatever. So they're looking for deals. They're just one of the places that they look for deals. So if you could elaborate on your end game or whatever, is it your intent to go there to buy some cheap real estate? Then, as you said, you do your due diligence. I had a friend of mine, and she's done well. She bought quite a few houses, a couple condos or whatever, but she's sort of got, I ain't gonna say burnt because she bought them so cheap, but she won't tap into a source like myself and ask me because she moved too fast or whatever. But she came down here, bidded on a house, had to put up $5,000 after she won the bid, and then she went and looked at the house or whatever. She lives in Atlanta. Went over there and it was terrible. I said, you paid what for what over there? She said, well, I saw a house. I said, no, you can't do that. I said, no, those houses, it was in East Lake. Once you cross over one street or another, the prices changed drastically. He said, I know now. I said, wow. She said, what should I do? Cancel that check? I like, no, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to ruin your reputation. If you want to ever bid on this auction, don't do that. That's just you just went to a seminar. She said, what does that mean? You just paid to learn a valuable lesson that you don't buy sight unseen unless you know what you're buying. Some people can buy sight unseen. Like even if I had to build it from the ground up, it's still a great good deal. If you that confident, then boom. But if you ain't one of them, and then she didn't tap into me, especially in my backyard, brought her butt down here and did that, I said, you're gonna have to eat that. She ate it.
Ain't nothing like bought sense.
Yeah, she went to a seminar, and that's a Ron LeGrand quote. You just went to a seminar. Yeah.
And just to note, they don't let you go into any of those foreclosures. Like, it's drive-by only. You can't. They even say do not disturb. And then you have to go through the process of getting people out of the house because it's your house now. A lot of times, so they don't necessarily tell you they're going to deliver it vacant. So, anywho.
All right, let me see. I lost my place on here. So don't kill me. Okay. This one says, who would you recommend for a business checking account and virtual business address?
I learned from a tax. She's in Atlanta, and she's like one of the top tax preparers. Her office is, her agency, is, and she suggested you get 7. I only say that you don't have to get 7 right away, but I say that to say you don't have to just pick one, because once you start having income and expenses, and you have to set aside, you want a whole separate account for tax account. Then you may want to have different accounts for other reasons, but to I always here's what I like. I always like to have a local bank be my business checking. I like to have an account with a local bank that's local to your city, state. I like to have a national bank just in the event that we need to transfer funds, and it's a bank that everybody can access. But I like to always have a local bank because I like to do business with local. They're usually invested in your success, and they want to see what they can do to help you grow, because they are always looking for opportunities to spend money. Honestly, I know it sounds cliche, but once you get going and you have a legit business, like they are, like, I have my business, my banks will call me sometime if I haven't done a lot of transactions. So they are always looking to do business. If they see things happen, if they feel like things are starting to grow, they'll call you. So I like doing business with big local bank accounts, because your Wells Fargo and your Bank of Americas and your other big banks, they're not going to personally call you for that kind of stuff. Virtual address, it really just depends. Regis is like a huge, they're nationwide. They can receive mail. That's a big virtual, but there's a lot of, you can just do a UPS mailbox as well. Like UPS has virtual mailboxes as well. I've used them before, but Regis is a good one just because it also comes with some other perks. If you get certain plans that come where if you need to sit and like you just want to have an office for like one day out of the month, they have that option, and a lot of times it's included into your virtual address account.
Oh, I didn't even tell what the topic was today. What I said it was.
New wholesalers must do this or
Quit.
And you have to explain the artwork. You have to explain the artwork.
I'm gonna throw it up.
Oh yeah, that's okay. New wholesalers must do this or quit. So he's being poured down. He's being the goal here is, can you sit through an entire jug of newbie juice poured on you to win first place, $100,000? It says, would you quit? It's only to attract attention. Now it doesn't have anything to do with real estate, obviously, but it's just to get you to read the title. So anyway, so the title is
Okay. So creative.
But it's what's the question? New wholesalers must do this or quit. All right, and I saw that it's most of the titles come from me reading questions and answering them. Some will just go off of my head. Some are good, some are not that good. So anyway, so one of the questions was from yesterday that I was reading, that I was trying to catch up here on YouTube in the comments, was someone was asking I think they were asking how important was it to generate leads, right? And so that's what this is. If you don't understand that you need your primary objective when you getting up every day, whether you got deals ready to close, buyers on hand, whatever, you got to be generating leads to keep that animal going. right? You have to have an influx of deals coming in. And that's really just real estate in general or whatever. Now, some you have to be more than others, but whether you're doing flips, fixing flips, rentals, whatever, if your intent is to grow, you have to be receiving deals on a daily basis. Again, some of it has to be more intense than others, especially with wholesaling, because to keep the money flowing. But somewhat of the question that was being asked a little while ago was the tried and true method. And again, for me, just to answer that just as a blanket, I would, for each individual, I would have to know what your situation is as far as time, resources, who you are as a person, and so on. I say resources, I don't know what I mean, money or whatever. So, but with all that being said, I don't care what it is. There are going to be free methods of doing this. There are going to be extreme paid methods of doing this. Some people spend 6 figures a month just in lead generation or whatever, but it produces, the same or whatever. And some people spend nothing and still make 6 figures a year or whatever. They just are great networkers, and they, just continuously are matching sellers and buyers, or wholesalers in their buyers list or whatever. So all of that, it from zero to spending 5-6 figures a month, it's all about lead generation. You could do it with off-market properties, on-market properties. At the end of the day, you have to understand that. Like a lot of times people ask me, well, what should I start first? I watched a lot of your videos, blah, blah, blah. If you don't get that, you ain't watched enough of them. Because so many of my videos, especially the lives, because a lot of the same questions are answered and they're going to have the same answer, 2 + 2 is still 4. We talk about a lot of methods of generating leads at all levels or whatever. So if you don't get that and you like still asking, where should I start first? Then some ain't clicking, right? Again, you may not have watched enough of them, because the one thing you must do is determine when you're ready to make a move, how am I going to talk to enough people that own real estate to see if some of them will be willing to sell and some of them willing to sell cheap. That's it. You got to know this. You got to get that part of it if you don't get anything else. Now, you need to still understand and figure out and know what a great deal is when the opportunities do hit you in the face. You can text GD for that. But yeah, that's it. So if you don't get that, yeah, you might as well quit and go do something else. Is the point.
All right.
Huh?
It is tough love.
That's tough love. Well, everything ain't for everybody. I quit on plenty of stuff, and probably will on more in the future.
Yeah, it's a declaration that you have to decide it has to work or it has to work. If you don't have that mindset, then you probably should either go and support someone that does, because everybody is not born to be the same as your neighbor. Like everybody is not here to be an entrepreneur. Some people are here to be support. That's why we have, jobs and we employ people, and we, even if it's not in your season, people find any reason to give up and make an excuse if they have not made the decision that it has to work. If they say, it's this or die. I mean, I know it sounds harsh too, but that's the mindset that people that are doing it has. So if you don't have that same mindset, why do you think it's that you should have different results?
Mm-hmm. All right. This one came from Facebook. They said, "What up, Flip family? I'm hearing the 70% rule is outdated."
Nobody said anything about the video quality, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I did.
They said it was fine.
Okay.
I just didn't read none of them. They said, I'm hearing the 70% rule is outdated. 82% is the golden because of high inflation.
No.
Is that true?
If that was going to be true, that would have been last year, maybe this time.
Look at Kelly.
You know what I'm saying? if that was going to be true, Kelly, right? If it was going to be true.
I was just saying the 82. Like, yeah. If it was going to be true. Yeah, no.
It my man, it really, see, it's really, the 70% rule is, you got to have something to go by, right? Especially for new people coming into the game. Because how will they recognize a deal? There's other ways of explaining it, but you got to have something to go by. And normally, most investors are happy with 20, 25% on their money. Normally, right? Some want more, some will take less. In some markets, 10 or 15% on their money is good. And what I mean by that is 70 plus 30 is 100. So that 70% rule is really saying it's a 30% discount off the ARV, minus repairs, minus your fee. That's what it's only saying, right? Now, with that 82%, yeah, that may actually have been accurate in a lot of different markets beyond Southern California, the Bay Area, Seattle, New York City, parts of South Florida, maybe one or two more. But everywhere else, but now that's adjusted. That may have been, but once these interest rates went up to whatever they are right now, 70% may be going lower than that or whatever. So, but again, it's not just to say it all, be all. If it ain't 70% matter, no, you have to. It's market specific. But a lot of times you won't know what buyers will pay for in a particular neighborhood or area market until you get out there, start making some offers, put them under contract, and nobody's interested. Or put them under contract and you get a good, and they paying exactly what you want. That means you ain't selling it for enough. You know what I'm saying? But you may have went just by the 70% rule, and you may not be selling it for enough. And like I say, the reverse of that, you went by the 70%, and it still ain't cheap enough. So that's going to be market specific, and then neighborhoods within those markets. Because perception with investors, you'll see. Just do it long enough, you'll see. But you got to have something to go by. 82% ain't it. I can tell you that right now. Not in most markets.
No. And another way of doing that formula, like I don't think the 70% rule will ever be outdated because the numbers just always make sense. No matter what market we're in. Now, somebody may be willing to pay a little bit more, and that's their prerogative, but it just always makes sense. Now, the only other way that you can use, which is still kind of like the 70% rule, is a lot of investors that are fix and flippers. If they put $30,000 in rehab into a property, they're looking to get that plus $30,000 more. So they basically are looking to they will be looking to make that back. So let's just say that property was for 150 and they had to put up $30,000 in rehab. They're looking to obviously make all of their money back plus that the equivalent to what they had to put into it to get it to that number. And that's just another way, but that can get a cleaner way. It's always just to do the percentage rule. And quite honestly, for cash buyers right now, I would drop that down to about 55 to 60% ARV.
Cheap.
No money or cheap.
Yeah, one thing now, I guess when they say 82% because you may be leaving deals on the table or whatever, but one thing we do know, regardless, if you get it for 70%, if the market was at 82%, you putting money on the table too. You add money to it if you can get them there. But I get it, what they were saying, but that doesn't exist no more. That was 6 months to 12 months ago. That doesn't exist anymore.
But one way in that we're working with people too, we want to work with more people, is if the cash deal doesn't make sense, ask them, are they open to creative finance? If you want what they get, because we'll take creative finance all day if they are open to that. So that's another way that we can do deals.
Are they willing to act as the bank?
Mm-hmm. You want to keep going?
I remember, we'll end it here. I'll end it with this. Okay. I remember this car dealer in, I think it was in Montgomery. His tagline, I am the bank. I thought that was some brilliant stuff. Come see us. I am the bank. Oh boy. Anyway, so wait, no me. Anyway, so glad Kelly joined us. We need to put up her thing.
Yeah, I'm about to do that now. Hold on, it's different over here. I got you.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
It's up.
Go.
Yes, be sure if you haven't already done it, stop what you're doing, go over to Instagram, go over to YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Kels. That's KELSALLWAYS on Instagram. And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's just Kelly, KELLI, Mead, MEADE. I have some great news. We're going to start a series where we are going to be teaching people how to start in new construction and real estate development. We're going to be holding classes on Thursday nights. I will stay tuned. I'll let you know which Thursday night, but we have one coming up very, very soon. Not tomorrow, but very, very soon. So we're going to host series where we're going to be bringing in people and helping you get connected with real estate, because no matter, even if we're in a recession, people are still building because we still have a housing shortage. We're just doing it a little bit more creatively, a little and structuring deals where it makes sense. So if you want to learn how to get involved in that, be sure that you follow me on those channels so you can get the latest updates of when those classes will be. But I'm super excited to be able to teach people about new construction and development. That's all I have.
Boom. All right, before we get out of here, guys, remember biz if you want to set up your LLC, business credit, and access to over 250 tax deductions. Remember the times, Monday through Wednesday, 3:45 ish Eastern, 8:05 ish on Thursdays. Remember MLS, get in the game for $100. Love to see you there. And subscribe, share, like, follow. On TikTok, we have 1,000 people viewing. Guess what? We have over 1,000 people that like. What is wrong with you all, YouTube? What is wrong?
Hold it up. There.
What's wrong with y'all? Anyway, I ain't complaining. If you didn't get your question answered, post it in the comment section of any video and answer those on a daily basis. We'll really appreciate Kelly joining us. That's it. We'll see you on FLIPSIDE.
Bye.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205-964.